Welcome to the JS Self Care Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, a weekly conversation about self care, personal development, and all the small decisions we can make to become the best possible versions of ourselves. I am your host, Janelle. I am a social worker and a self care life coach based out of New York. For more information, make sure that you visit my website at jsselfcare.org. I want to welcome my new listeners, and I also want to welcome my returning listeners. If you can please share this episode because there's someone in this world who needs to listen to this episode. I also want to personally thank you for making the JS Self Care Mind, Body, and Soul part of your weekly routine. I truly, truly appreciate you all. Aaliyah just said it best. Today's topic is failure will lead to success. She said it in her song. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Be persistent and don't give up no matter what. When we think of the word failure, we tend to think of a dark cloud, or we think if we fail, what others will think of us. Who really gives a shit? We also become fearful because we don't want to fail and we are afraid to fail. We also think about what our elders and ancestors once said to us. Failure is not an option, but failure is most definitely an option. I have a question. How will we know where and what we need to improve in if we never failed at something? Guess what? We won't know. What do you think? Aaliyah said in one of her songs, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Aaliyah was basically telling us if it doesn't work out the first time, dust yourself off and keep trying. Stop with that failure is not an option stuff because failure is an option. I failed many times and I kept going. I failed with my self care business, but I kept going and I didn't give up. Don't give up. You will eventually succeed. Trust me, I know. I felt like giving up so many times, but I didn't. When I do feel like giving up, I have a self talk with myself and I say, this is surely not the end. It will only be the end when I am in my self care building and I am providing a self care service to millions of people. Guess what? Since I've succeeded, it won't be the end because I have another goal that I will want to achieve and I will fail over and over, but I will succeed that next goal as well. I will have my self care building. I'm going to keep trying until I get it right. And then I'm going to set myself up with another goal and another goal. Failure is an option, but it's okay because I'm going to keep going. You will learn a lot when you succeed the first time you do something. You will also learn even more when you fail at a few times while trying to do something. Wait, I don't want you to say what. Please hear me out. Failure comes with lessons. If you succeeded right away, you won't learn any lessons and you won't learn about trial and error because you tried it, you did it, and you succeeded at what you set out to do. Here is a known fact you will fail way more times than you will succeed. Through the lows, you will find highs, most definitely. Whatever it is, don't give up. I feel failure shouldn't be our undertaker, it should be our teacher. Failure is temporary, it's not meant to be a delay. Failure is actually meant to be a detour. Failure is just telling you to try another route. People believe failure doesn't mean to give up. Absolutely not. Napoleon Hill said, most great people have achieved their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Michael Jordan said, I've missed 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game's winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life. And that is why Michael Jordan succeeded in life. So, with what Napoleon and Michael said, do we believe they both stuck with plan A and succeeded, or they decided to go with plan B? Plan A may not always work. There's always room for plan B, plan C, and so on until you get it right. Even if you at plan Z, you're gonna fail 26 times. It's 26 letters. Keep going. So let's get into this. You know, I always have steps for us. Step one, when you think of failing, I want you to think of a baby going from crawling to walking. We were born to fail. We were also born to keep trying until we get it right. Failure can be best learned from a baby. Think about when a baby first begins to walk. What do? They hold on to things to get them back up. And what happens next? They fall right on their butts over 100 times until they build up the courage and strength to do what? Walk. A baby literally will fail at the attempts to walk. Remember, the baby's goal, which is one goal, is to walk, right? And sure enough, the baby does eventually walk. Learning how to walk is all a part of life. You got to crawl before you walk. I know we all heard that before, right? I know I heard it a million times. But what that means is you got to start somewhere. Failure at other things is no way different as an adult. Just think you are learning to perfect a craft, so you're going to fail. Don't become a person who starts something and fails at the beginning and gives up simply because something is harder than you expected or taking longer than you hoped for. There are always ways to go. Take the long distance route, it will work in your favor. When you think failing is a means to an end, think of a baby's determination. That will encourage you to keep going. When we think of failure, I want you to think of a baby going from crawling to walking, and right there will get you motivated. Our next one is an important one too. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is necessary for success. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about failing? Do you think about all things negative? We can honestly say failure is painful as fuck. It causes emotional turmoil and it causes you to be so upset that you want to kick yourself. For those who have known true failure and bounce back from it, understands that failure is necessary for success. It's not the opposite, it's necessary. Although failing does not feel good at all, it hurts like hell sometimes. Failure feels like you have been shot and stabbed. I get it. Yet, listen, failure brings you to new possibilities. Most successful people, like Michael Jordan, have failed most of the time. Don't try to go through life without failing at anything. If you do get through life without failing anything, that only means you're not living life to its fullest potential. Taking risks and falling flat on your butt is most definitely a part of life. Trying is what makes you a better you. Failure prepares us for greatness. Failure is what makes us unique. Our third one is when you think of failure, translate that to redirection. When it comes to accomplishing something, how would you know if it truly works if you never tried it and failed? Things are not meant to happen overnight. Things that we want to accomplish takes trial and error. I know we all heard this saying, Rome wasn't built in one day. I bet those builders made a whole lot of mistakes along the way, especially with them not having no technology, Google, Siri, none of them to help them along their journey. When you go to try something and realize it didn't work, it doesn't mean not to try again. It means that you need to look at what you did the first time and failed and look at what part you failed and then think about it. Especially when you say, oh, I should have tried it this way. Take that thought and apply it the next time you try to execute what you were doing. If you didn't even make the attempt the first time, how will you know whether or not your method worked? You don't. You don't want to live your life with a pile of regrets, like I should have tried, or what if I did this and that. Think about that. What if you really did it? You don't want to live a life with those regrets. Your life goal is to live your life knowing that you gave it your absolute best and you tried different avenues to succeed. Always give things your best shot, and if need be, give it another shot. Don't be so quick to fail and say, I tried it. It didn't work. Say, I tried it a few times and I tried it in different directions. It just didn't work, or it worked and look at me now. When you think of failure, translate that to redirection. Our next one is failure means new opportunities will be created. I've always said and believed that everything in this world happens for a reason and a season. Most of the time, I don't know the reason, but I know deep down inside there is a reason. Because we have failed at something, that doesn't mean the world is going to come to an end. Most of the time, failures brings out new opportunities for us. Just think about this. Have you heard and do you believe when one door closes, another door opens? I do believe that. I've actually saw it happen with my self-care business. I was literally ready to introduce the world to my Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself tour. I had my first event on March 1st and was prepared to have my second one in June 2020. That damn COVID hit. At first, I was like, oh, hell no. I got shit to do. Nobody got time for COVID. I sat for a while and realized that having outside events is not possible because it's not safe. Duh, Janelle. So, what I did was I sat and I meditated and then asked a lot of whys. Or why this? Or why that? Then it came to me. Start a podcast. I said, Janelle, why don't you introduce your self care to the world? And I did just that. I didn't let nothing stop me. And guess what? I have a large audience and my tour is online. When one door closed, another door opened. Imagine if the podcast wasn't an option. I could have opened another door. All I needed to do was sit down and meditate and ask those whys while I'm meditating. Why this? Why that? And it came to me. Start your podcast. You wanted to start it in 2020 anyway. Why not start it now? Introduce self-care and be safe. Failure means you will get another shot. The best part of failing is you get another shot and another shot to try again. This time you can try in a different way, especially if you want to accomplish something. I feel if it is something you want, you can't just give up. I hope I'm correct, ladies and gents. I bet you probably said this shit isn't working, but trust me, it is working and it will work. Just keep going at it. It is working because you're constantly learning what you did wrong the last time. So the next time you make a mistake, guess it won't be the same mistake now, will it? If there's any chance you have the opportunity to give it another go, you have to take that chance. Listen to me. Be like Rocky and go for it. Especially when the something you failed is one of your life goals. You got to do it. A sixth one is failure only means you had the courage to try. Failure doesn't mean the world will end because you did not succeed. Failure doesn't mean throw away all your dreams because you didn't succeed. Think about failure like this. You had the courage to do something you always wanted to do. You had the courage, which many people don't even have. There are millions of people who spend most of their life wondering what would have happened if they even had tried to do something they wanted to do. They will never know because they didn't have the courage to put themselves out there and just tried. They allow of failure to get in their way of their success. Stop being so wrapped up in the fear of failure. Think about it like this. At least you gave it a shot and you are not singing a should've, would've, could've song. Have the courage needed to succeed. The person who gives it a shot, knowing deep down inside there is a possibility you will fail, will be the person who has the most courage. Be like Nike and just do it. Failure only means you had the courage to try. Our next one is failure leads to growth. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and this topic was about how you have failed at something and their response is, I never failed at anything I've done? You may have looked at them like, oh, really? And then you said, wow, you are one lucky person because you never failed at anything you've done. Then you say, nah, that can't be. How in the hell you never failed at anything in your life? Something must have gone wrong somewhere in your life in order for you to become this amazing person that you are. Life is supposed to be about growth and stepping out of your comfort zone you so love to be in. So, if this person never failed at anything, which could be true, the reason why people don't fail is because they have never left their comfort zone. Are you really comfortable with not leveling up? Not me. I have to level up all the time. What fun is that to live your life one particular way? No judgment, but really need to know. In order to get the results you're looking for, you have to extend yourself so you will know the possibilities that's out there and you get the opportunity to grow. I promise you, you'll never be the same when you leave your comfort zone. Failure will no longer be seen as a dark cloud over you. You will look failure in the eye and say, I tried it and I'm going to try it again in a different way. Ha ha ha. You won't discourage me because I got this. Those who have succeeded in life failed hundreds of times before they got it right. The reason they succeeded in life is because they realized that failure wasn't a bad thing. Failure is actually a stepping stone to help you reach your goal. Listen, those who have gotten things right the first time often don't have the skills or the mindset to fix a problem if something goes wrong. The reason is because they never fixed it before. Failure leads to growth. Our next one is failure is one of life's greatest teachers. Get ready to learn a few things in this thing we call life. There's nothing better than failure. Failure is the only opportunity we get to learn to do something in more ways than one. Failure actually helps us to learn from our mistakes. Failure shows us how to rethink and reconsider how we are doing things. Failure helps us find new ways and strategies to achieve the goal we set out to accomplish. Failure also gives us the opportunity to gain a deeper experience, which gives us better knowledge, which in turn gives us different ways to grow. Failure helps us understand how life works, which we wish it worked our way in the first place, but it doesn't. Every failed attempt simply becomes a new learning lesson. I'm going to say that again. Every failed attempt simply becomes a new learning lesson. All you're doing is fine tuning your efforts. By failing, you will reach your highest potential. That's our next one. By failing, you most definitely gonna reach your highest potential. We need to start saying no to fear and do what we want because we are limitless. When you realize you are a limitless human being, You will see the magic you can create. You will reach your ultimate potential. You will make the impossible possible. When you eliminate the fear attitude and embrace failure, you will maximize your motivation, determination, and perseverance. Failure will bring new potential to do things in different ways to become your greatest you. By failing, you will reach your highest potential. The last one for this week is failure will make you stronger. I will tell you 100 times failure is strength. Once you have failed, an emotional low will develop within you. Trust me, that is a natural feeling. You will feel that you are at your lowest. How we respond to our failures will determine where our road to success will lead us to. By us feeling and then using what we've learned from the experience will improve our highest potential to become more flexible and persistent. By us being persistent, we will become less likely to be affected by not getting the outcome we hope for. That will give us a better perspective for analyzing what needs to be done to move us towards success. The strength we get from failing will be with us for the rest of our lives. Remember, failure is always temporary. Failure will make you stronger. Don't view failure as bad luck or as a dark cloud. I want you to view failure as just an opportunity to try again. Not only that, have fun while you're trying because while failing, guess what? You're also learning and growing. How dope is that? You're actually getting the 3-for-1 deal: failing, learning, and growing. You'll become this person you only dreamed of becoming, all because you never gave up. Air quotes, can't stop, won't stop. When life gives you lemons, you need to make lemonade and drink it. You have no room to give up. Use every single failure as a redirection and an opportunity to grow. If anybody in this world is going to accomplish your dreams, why not that be you? They're your dreams and goals, right? If you take anything from this podcast, always remember the first time you try, you may fail. It's okay. Remember, failure leads to success. Look failure in the eye and say, I'm not afraid. I'm ready for your ass. Bring it on. I got this. Tracy McMillan said it best. You learn a lot from success, but you learn even more from failure. While I hope you love listening to and learning from this podcast, it is not meant to be a substitute for mental health treatment. Schedule a coaching session with me, your self-care life coach, Janelle. If mental health treatment is needed, please don't hesitate to contact a therapist in your area. Self-care is important and necessary. Take care of you and continue to put you first no matter what. If anything in this podcast resonated with you and you want to continue the conversation, please don't hesitate to contact me, Janelle, at jsselfcare.org. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and share. For daily doses of self-care words of affirmation and notes to self, make sure you join the JS Self-Care social media tribe on most social media platforms.
First, don't succeed. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. 'Cause if at first you don't succeed,